Hello there guys, it's Joey and this is the witchy vlog for the Shapeshifter Oracle card Kitsune. So to quickly recap on the meanings, it's about knowing whom to trust, what the best course of action is, when to stay silent, where to put your energy and when not. And we're a little bit overdue and I'm having to hold the camera, so I apologise if I wobble. The stand is in use. So, I've got a few quotes. My heart is not a home for cowards, D. Antoinette Foy. I knew who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have been changed several times since then. Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I will never regret the things I did wrong. I only regret the good things I did for the wrong people. Author unknown. You didn't mess with the Morrigan. If you did, everything came undone. Author unknown. We stand on a precipice, then before a chasm, and as we wait it becomes higher, wider, deeper. But I am crazy enough to think it doesn't matter which way we leap, because when we leap we will have learnt to fly. Diane Arbus. Okay, let's move this here. That's a bit easier. There we go. So I went to the neighbouring town and picked up some crystals with the positive news at the beginning of the week, which you've already seen. The scolecite, the smoky phantom, spirit quartz and 4 little ones, labradorite obviously, and a pendulum, which I have yet to use because of the crazy non-stopness of getting everything ready for inspection and all sorts of things, just mundane, boring, everyday stuff that just needed to be done and getting in the way of everything, and ugh, so I still haven't had a chance to play with my pendulum yet. 4 lighter aquamarine, 4 epido in prehnite, and 4 copper in chalcedony. Phantom quartz stimulates universal awareness, activates healing abilities, connects us to a spiritual guide. Aquamarine for courage, reducing stress, harmonizing your environment, invoking tolerance, supports to anyone overwhelmed by responsibilities. Excuse me. Scolecite had its own video. It's incredibly beautiful. High vibration. It looks like a swan wing. Connects you to your highest self and your purpose. Spirit quartz does this very similar thing. Epido in prehnite ramps up the energies of prophetic abilities, visualization, spiritual knowing. And there was, of course, the Soul Path grid, which there's already a video about. Deep waters of the divine feminine flow, moving through the soil and mountains of the sacred earth, are we not strong? Penetrating the solid ground below, with even the most gentle rains can we not carve stone? With even the gentlest tides, fierceness of heart lives in even the most delicate flower. Never doubt your strength, by the softness of your step. Ara, the goddess circle. Love everybody, but never sell your sword. Polo Ahawa. And this one's mine, Joanne Morris, 2014. By crow and bone, Morrigan's own, hail to bathe the winter crone. I keep saying it in the hope that we'll get some winter weather. It's so warm still here, it's ridiculous. As in going out in December without a coat on warm. It's weird. But the other quotes are quite interesting with regards to the theme of the week. The trust in the divine is definitely one of the overarching themes, if not the overarching theme, and trusting in yourself is another. And the idea that if you can't trust anything, you can trust yourself, insofar as you have to really scrutinize yourself as well and make sure that your reactions are correct, viable, fair, balanced, etc. From the time we are born, there is a wildish urge within us that desires our souls lead our lives, for the ego can only understand just so much. Imagine the ego on a permanent and relatively short leash. It can only go so far into the mysteries of life and spirit. Usually it becomes frightened. It has a bad habit of reducing all numinosity to a nothing but. It demands facts that are observable. That is why the ego is lonely. It is very limited in its constructs that way. It cannot fully participate in the more mysterious process of soul and psyche. Clarissa Pinkola. Okay, this is a really interesting quote that was sort of in the middle of the week. I'm not sharing everything, obviously, from my diary. I'm just showing the most pertinent stuff. But I've come across people who claim to want to really engage with their spirituality and yet do demand things that are observable with the human eye, and don't believe what they feel, I guess, and sense, and have no belief in their spirituality. And I was thinking about how this quote sort of suggests that's part and parcel of the ego. A woman's place is in the revolution. Anna Goldecroft. Very, very necessary again this week. There have been threads and threads of examples of women being treated so badly. The need for sticking up for women and women's rights has become more and more obvious as the week, and it's been more than a week, has gone on. I am beautifully broken, perfectly imperfect, beautiful in my flaws altogether. I am a beautiful disaster. I am Daily. This is a good one. I like this one. She was never crazy. She just didn't let her heart settle in a cage. She was born wild, and sometimes we need people like her, for it's the horrors in her heart which cause the flame in ours, and she was always willing to burn for everything she has ever loved. R.M. Drake. They tried to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds. Mexican proverb. It's time to remember what it's like to feel alive. North Lane. With every in-breath, the trees and the beasts enter my body. With every out-breath, I enter theirs. In just one breath, we become one. Our sacred seeds. Joanne Morris. In my low moments, I feel the great ache of loneliness that comes from rejecting the life I've been told to want. In these times of sadness, I remember it's a far better thing to want to reclaim the wild woman within me, even if it is a battle. She made broken look beautiful and strong look invincible. She walked with the universe on her shoulders and made it look like a pair of wings. Ariana, women who run with the moon. You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not the clothes you wear. Fight Club. Of course, the next line is, you're not your fucking car keys, which I love. Destroy negative thoughts when they first appear. This is when they're weakest. So there's been underlying issues for me this week. I was dreaming about my goddamn ex again, and it drives me mad because it brings up these issues for me where they judge people based on their job and what they're earning, and anyone who doesn't fit into that mould and tick the correct boxes of life progress. Oh, it just makes me feel sick to my stomach, and part of me still feels guilty for not fitting into that mould, and then another part of me is like, we are free of that mould. And then this quote came, not everyone will dance your dance or like your dance. They are not required to, but accepting your right to dance is the only way we can change the world. Wild Woman Sisterhood. The day you lose everything is the day you'll know who your real friends are. I Win Cardzo Comics. No person is your friend who demands your silence or denies your right to grow. Alice Walker. The best protection any woman can have is courage. Elizabeth Cady Stanton. And then I think it's mostly private bits and pieces to do with spell work to do with the end of the week. Yeah, okay. So, we're running a bit late, I apologise, but it's actually, I think the card through light on the people from my past is people who not to trust, and remembering the lessons that I've gone through already and not allowing myself to fall into that trap, I guess, of being told what your worth is directly a connotation of what your job is or what you earn, and just because you have figured out a different way of living, a different path, it doesn't make you wrong. And it can be a very difficult thing when you're sort of carving out your own way of living in correspondence with who you want to be, you know, your life path, your moral values, your stance, things you're not going to give up if you can possibly avoid it, just to survive. I don't want to survive, I want to live, and I want to find who I am, and I want to be the best version of me. And sometimes we run into these walls with ourselves where we really have to deal with these issues that we thought were long gone and they're not, and people from our past who are long gone but still has this shadow over us, that's control over us, and we've got to really sort of expunge these people and just move on. So that's it for this week. Many blessings.